Hi, and welcome to your TeamCPNZ Quick Connect podcast. I'm your host, Richard Greer, the head honcho, maybe the person in behind some of this May Meters palaver. That's what we're talking about today, our May Meters challenge. It's just finished up. We started June. I think there's been a collective sigh of relief over most people. It's been an awesome May. There's been so cool to be able to see lots of different people challenging themselves, some really consistent performances across the course of the month, which is what it's all about. And then this morning on our group Zwift ride, I got a message from Wes afterwards saying he was absolutely on fire as a result of being so consistent during May. So that's kind of what we're after, hopefully at the end of this. So hopefully your May went well and you had some fun getting out and about, and also were able to put a few sessions together, a few days together, a few weeks together, and hopefully a whole month together to really springboard you sort of further on as the year continues. So today's podcast is a bit of a special one. We did this last year as a review of our May Meters. We had our top couple of people last year to join me. This year we've got Matt, we've got Shiraz, and we've got Craig waiting in the wings. So today's podcast is where they get to meet each other for the first time, and maybe their name was mud during the year, but right now we'll have a bit of a chat. I'm sure we'll share some stories. So let's add Shiraz in first, because clearly she was first. We'll add Craig in next, and then we'll add Matt into the show as well. How are we getting on, team?
Good, thank you.
Good.
Nice work. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to do a bit of around the room as part of this, but Matt, meet Craig. Craig, meet Matt.
All right.
Yeah, that's right. And neither of you met Shiraz because she was too far out in front anyway as part of this May Meters thing. But let's start with you, Shiraz. A number of people were, I guess, marveling in your commitment, into your dedication, into your consistency, into just how much you were doing. It was very impressive. And you were also work as well. That was one of the questions that I had. What else does Shiraz do? So yeah, how are you, and how was your month of May in reflection?
Yeah, I'm good. May was good. I knew I was getting surgery on my hip at the end of May, so it was a challenge to do to keep me motivated and kind of keep my mind off surgery.
Nice. We didn't know that. Well, I think you said actually you come on our back road bikepacking trip, and you mentioned that you did have some surgery coming up for your hip. You were about 8th, I think, after the first day, and I looked down the list and saw here's Shiraz, but you just keep a wee eye on her because she's based on previous experience from our Tour de France month of July, the last year, that you were one to watch for sure. And then I think people were starting to hope when we found out about the surgery that the surgery was soon, but you managed to sort of, it wasn't until the end of the month, which probably worked quite well for you, not so well for others.
Yeah. So I was just trying to Baron, was just a lot of commentary on the WhatsApp group, and I guess it was just trying to stick it to it and just try and keep people away. I work full time as a nurse, so it was, early mornings and after work, just hopping on and just picking a route on Zwift, which had a lot of meters, and just cranking it out.
Let's just touch base on Baron. Baron did achieve the award of the best banter, but it was also prefaced with the fact that maybe he would have done better if he had less chat and he just rode his bike more.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
no, that's good. Matt, how are you getting on? Has the body recovered from May?
Yeah, it has recovered from May. I didn't really get that sore, to be fair. I did lots of little rides, found a steep hill climb on a virtual ride and just went for it, and maybe do an hour 15 max, and then back out on the farm. So I guess on the farm I had a lot of active recovery as well, walking around, milking cows, all that sort of stuff. And then I'll be back in at lunchtime and another quick half an hour, 45-minute session, then again either early evening or after the kids have gone to bed, I'd crank out another sort of 500 meters or so, and he was trying around that 1200 meters a day, just to try and keep up with Craig or keep Craig behind me at times and things like that.
I don't know if I'd call farming active recovery. I think most of us would call it a little bit more than that. How did you manage your energy levels throughout that? You're talking about 3 rides a day. Is that pretty much what you're doing? Yep. So, I mean, I do like that by doing little bits is much easier than do one great big honking ride and it's taking like an hour and a half to 2 hours plus in your day, probably a bit more achievable. But how did you kind of keep things up and not fall over throughout the month of May, continuing to do that?
Oh, just keep putting a bit more diesel into the old diesel engine, I guess. At the start, I probably struggled over the first 10 days, mainly due to hydration. I was sweating a lot inside. Rose with a young family, my wife, the heat pump had to stay on. We're in a small farmhouse, so it was quite hot. So once I figured out my hydration and all of that and what I needed to, and it was just lots of drinking on the farm, lots of little snacks, and then, probably eating more than I needed to, just to keep me going, to be fair. Getting up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning to milk cows, plus doing May meters, was making them for a long day. So, But probably the first 10 days was the hardest, just to try and get that right. And I remember the start of May meters, everyone took off real quick, and I thought, oh shit, here we go, and I had to keep up. And the body definitely struggled. And then after day 10, I was sort of into the groove, and it was all right after that.
Nice. Craig, can you hear us okay? We had a couple of technology issues.
I've got you now. Yeah,
got it.
couldn't hear you before.
You've done well. Do you want to say hi to Matt? Because I don't think you achieved that before.
Yeah, g'day, Matt.
Hey, Craig.
I think I only added him on Strava about 2 days before the end because I was trying to keep on top of what he was doing.
Yeah. So you mentioned there, Matt, that everyone shot off in a hurry at the start. How did your start of May go, Craig? And where did you sort of think that this is something that I might be able to get stuck into? Tell us about your sort of thinking around it.
Well, I was aiming to beat last year, which was I think 13,000. So that's what I went out of the gates to do. And the first 2 days I'd done 1,000 each day, and then I just questioned in my head, do you reckon wonder if I could do this every day for a month? And just started there really, and then once it got to the middle of the month, I kind of had no excuse. I had to keep going. I was over halfway.
And how were you doing those meters every day for you, Craig? Were you doing a bunch of sort of online Zwifting to do that, or were you doing some outdoor riding? How did it sort of unfold for you?
Ended up mostly being online Zwifting. I preferred to do the outdoor rides when I got time to get a few rides in. But I was mainly doing the rides early in the morning or late at night when it was dark, so the Zwifting made sense.
Yeah, good stuff to be able to get that done. And did in terms of that competition between, we've really, like, Shiraz was off and gone, you guys were sort of battling with each other, and also need to have a bit of a shout out for Tony as well, because the three of you were going head to head. Tony stopped after 22 days, he must have, because he was up to 22,000 vertical meters, and he hasn't moved since. So I have actually messaged Tony. I tried to give him a call just before this podcast, but we just hope Tony's okay because we haven't heard from him since. But how was you mentioned that you were following Matt on Strava. How did that sort of go? What was happening sort of mentally for you in terms of to keep going, Craig, as the month wore on?
To be honest, the main aim was just to do at least 1,000 a day for myself. And then it wasn't until sort of the end of the month I was like, I'm actually still up the top here. I could keep going. And then and so then I saw, what's Matt doing? What's he riding? How can I? What's he doing online? Is he using Zwift? I haven't seen that. And then over the last 2 days, or 2 days before the end, I think we were almost exactly the same. And the wife and kids went away for a night, and so on a Saturday night, I decided not to socialise and just sit on the Zwift and knocked out a couple of thousand of it. I was like, hopefully that'll do it. Hopefully that'll put him to put him to bed.
Nice. I just need to let you know that I have just found that Tony is still alive. He is actually just trying to call me right at the moment. So that's good. Everyone can sort of just relax on the fact that Tony did stop, but he's still in one piece. He's still alive. He's calling me back. So that's a good sign. Yeah, that's awesome. You just going on to how you did your vertical meters, Shiraz, back to you. How did you do it? It wasn't just indoors. You talked about it for a start of being able to sort of get up early and put some meters on the board. But you also did a bunch of big, epic gravel rides as well.
Yeah, so I made the most of my weekends. I love getting out. We've got a awesome gravel group here in the Hawke's Bay, and we try and do once a month, go on some big adventures. So we went to Waipuck out and did a ride out there, and then I had another on my road bike where I just tried to get some distance on those boys and rode up and down a 300-meter climb 21 times just for 12 hours to get me ahead.
300 times, that equals 7,000 vertical meters if I've done my maths correctly. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, that's almost, you didn't think about putting it 8,848, like just another sort of few hill reps there just to get the full Everest outside.
Yeah, I really tried. I kind of wanted to, but my light kept dying and my bike computer wasn't charging. So it was kind of like safety over trying to get that extra 1,800. But I was pretty gone after 12 hours, I have to say.
That's impressive, yeah. And 12 hours to do that many outside, that's a big job, because you also got to descend outside as well. If you're doing sort of that whole Everest thing on Zwift, you can actually get off your bike, you can go and have some food, get a dry towel, sort yourself out, and then go again. Which brings me to my next question. Aaron Hooper, full credit to Aaron. He did on the Saturday, he did that full Everest 8,848, but he did it on the Alp to Zwift climb in the Zwift world. So, which I think it took him around 12 hours. So you were not far behind him, and you were doing in the real world, Shiraz. But in the past, we've always organised a bit of an Everest type day with some one or two people kind of doing that. But I was away the sort of weekend before the end of the month and almost felt that it was a bit tough to kind of put the cat amongst the pigeons with these people coming out of nowhere and getting their 8,848 meters and sort of leaping up the leaderboard. Fortunately, that after Aaron, when he did that, he was still like 5,000 vertical meters behind me, so couldn't win that coach's award. So I was quite pleased with that. But it does get a bit nerve-wracking. Were any of you sort of thinking, oh, gosh, who could potentially sort of jump out of nowhere as a result of doing a big day or two on those last couple of days? Matt, was that something that you had in your mind at all?
Yeah. Tony was still, in the back of my mind, like, what's happened with him, and is he just not putting his meters in? He's going to get us right at the end. And then Vicky as well. She was moving pretty quick at the end. So, yeah, she was definitely there. But I want to know if Shiraz was nervous about any of us at any time.
Yeah, I was always watching you boys, and also I had Vicky in the back of my head. I knew that she's a dark horse, so she was someone that was. I had to check the leaderboard when I came out of surgery just to make sure no one had done some cheeky or just hidden it and then uploaded it later. I was kind of worried that someone was kind of doing that.
No, that's surely that's not cricket, is it? We can't do that. So please, there was none of that going on. But how often were you checking the leaderboard? That's what I'd be quite keen to know. Craig, how often were you sort of updating, refreshing for you?
Probably a couple of times a day, especially in the later stages. Yeah. This Matt, I was trying to work out when Matt was riding. He'd often do rides when I was in bed, late at night, and then I'd turn up in the morning. I'd switch on in the morning, and he jumped ahead of me again. I was like, ah, damn it.
Was there ever a time that you wish Matt would just like pull a hamstring or not be able to do what he should be able to do? Was there any time you were wishing some bad vibes towards Matt?
No, I think if Matt hadn't have been doing it, and I was, and I got to 6,000, ahead of the next place, I probably would have stopped.
Yeah.
My wife would have liked it if I'd stopped. But just having Matt there just meant I was like, oh no, I've got to do it.
Yeah.
I've got to keep going. Yeah.
So tell us about that sort of support from home. You mentioned, Craig, that your wife would be probably pretty keen that May didn't exist next year. Would that be fair? How was the vibe at home as the month wore on?
No, she was pretty good. She was getting regular updates. She works with Kate Downer, and so Kate would let her know that if I was going. She's like, oh, he's in second, he can stop now, or she'd give her updates of how I was going on the leaderboard. But I ended up, Kirsty took a lot of slack in the mornings, especially got the kids up, got the kids ready for school and sent them away. But I generally tried to do it in the times when I wasn't required.
Yeah, right. So that's good. That's good bit of teamwork. What about you, Matt? What was happening with you from a teamwork perspective? Obviously, you got some little kids in the house, and Rosie, lovely wife, was trying to figure things out as well and keep the ball rolling. Was she supportive, or was she sort of, oh, what are you doing here, Matt?
No, she was very supportive. She'd always be like, Craig's done this, off you go, and put me on the bike. At the end, Rose was a solo parent pretty much, as we were trying to get ready we were packing a house and a farm to move up here to Canterbury as well. So Rose called it May Madness at the end. It was pretty chaotic in our household with May meters going on, plus the kids, and we were having leaving parties and kids were finishing up at school and kindies and things like that. So yeah, take my hat off to Rose. She definitely had to pack up a house and be a solo parent there at the end just so I could try and push on a bit further. So yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about that. So what have you? So you're dairy farming. You're moving from Southland, and then you're moving to live in Sheffield, and you've got the whole farm to pack up, the whole house to pack up. You've got 3 little kids, and you're trying to do this as well. How did you manage that? And obviously you've stayed healthy as well, which is pretty awesome amongst all those things, and getting up to milk at like crazy o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it was a grind. Like I said, the first 10 days was the hardest for me, and then I got into the grind, and it just became a habit, really. Come home for breakfast, a quick hour ride, again at lunchtime. If there's time, we'll do an hour, might only be half an hour. And then, and in between all of that, I actually ended up deleting all social media off my phone, so there was no distractions through the day, no wasted time. It was just bike ride, farm, kids, pack up. And then I bought a load up here to the farm in Sheffield, motorbikes and things like that. Bought the mountain bike with me and did a Mount Hutt climb on my way up just to keep the meters ticking over. And my main goal was just to see if I could do, like Craig, 31 days every day of the month, not miss a day. Was my main thing. So yeah, but it was just, I turned the gas up on the activity that needed to be done, whether it be biking, farming, or being a dad, or packing up. So yeah, that's how we got it done, really.
Did you ever go to one of those sort of leaving parties with your bike trainer and your bike sort of thing, sitting in the corner sweating away while the?
No, it wasn't quite that bad. We did leave one, and I went back and did a bike ride that night at like 9 o'clock at night or something. Yeah, it was not for long, but yeah, it was definitely a few crazy things going on just to try and keep up with Craig. And I'd like to say I was keeping up with Shiraz, but she was long gone.
Yeah. So what you one thing you mentioned to me earlier, and you sort of mentioned just then as well, that actually you got more time in your day than you thought you had, that you're able to, like, you don't necessarily need to go that crazy all the time, but to be able to fit what you've done in amongst farming and a busy time of year as well, That's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot more time in the day than you think, I guess. And then, yeah, you just got to turn the gas on, like I said before, to get it done, and then just get it done. And then all of a sudden, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, nice. Good stuff. And Shiraz, you've, like, as you say, you're a nurse, you work full time. How did you manage your time? How did that go for you? Like, are you, and also what support did you have to be able to help you out to kind of keep yourself in one piece and keep things rolling along?
Yeah, it's just like mornings, evenings, and then making the most of the weekends. Got, supportive flatmates that can deal with me just sweating it out in the garage, and then some good mates that help the weekend, like some long group rides. It can get quite tiring coming back after like 9-hour shifts and then getting on the bike, but I think if you work in healthcare, just sweating it out can help sometimes. I'm also wanted to get quite a lot of fitness up, because I want to, give Edition Zero a good crack later in the year, and it was a good opportunity to get some good fitness in. But I think, Zwift is really helpful in that sense that it can help, just hop on it really easily, and then you can hop off it if you need to, be on your phone while you're cranking up some meters.
Yeah, good stuff. As part of that, we talked about riding outside, and you did the 7,000 meters outside. We need to stop for a moment and give a bit of kudos, because obviously this May meters it errs towards cycling, and then it also errs towards riding inside because it's more efficient and you can get more meters quicker because you can just jump on your bike and you're straight into it. And then also you don't even need to do the downhill. You can stop at the top, which, as I say about that, like the reason why I first started doing this whole sport riding my bike thing, I'd ride my mountain bike uphill, and the only reason I'd ride my bike uphill is so I could go downhill. But these days we're riding our bike uphill inside, sweating away, and they're not even doing any downhill. It's just get off and sort of go inside. So it's interesting how the thing has gone around. But we need to take a moment to just give some kudos for all those people that did some meters on their feet, because obviously that's the most, the purest form of these vertical meters, isn't it? Because you can't freewheel on the downhill. You actually got to take every step on the downhill as well. So there's as the top 10 going backwards, we've got Jan Sipple, Kate Downer, Sarah Beasley, Kellen Jones, Ben Jordan, Judy Froling, Nicola Love, Steph Levin, Victoria Gallagher, and Chris Wilson at the top of the spot. Chris did 12,304 vertical meters on foot. Victoria did 10,000, and Steph did 8,000 vertical meters all on foot. So that is pretty impressive to be able to do that. I need to ask you guys, did you guys do any on foot at all?
No.
No recorded?
Yeah, I did a bit of walking up the hills, taking the kids up the school's 150 meters up the hill. So I'd do a few walks up the hill. It was always with another one in the backpack. Yeah,
that's awesome. So we're walking today, kids. We're not dropping you off. Is that sort of what happened a lot? So you get 50 meters on the way?
Yeah, there was a couple of times where I usually take them up on the electric cargo bike, which I do actually have to put in a bit of effort with all three of them on the bike going up the hill. But I'd take one to daycare, come back quickly, and then say, right, off the bike, Maddie, we're walking up to school today because I need to count some meters. Yeah.
Was
Maddie ever like, oh God, Dad, what are you doing to me?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. It did help. The middle one requested a couple of times to do hill rides on the shotgun seat. So that gave me a good excuse. I couldn't say no at that point. I had to say, yeah, all right then. That sounds good. I've already done my 1,000 for the day, but I can take you up for another couple of 100.
100 or so, we'll claim that. But then, you're weight doping in the wrong direction, aren't you? You're grabbing another 30 odd kilos to make it heavier and harder getting up the hill.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't necessarily fun, those climbs. Yeah.
No, that's pretty awesome, isn't it? Was there any time throughout when did the relentlessness? I guess when did the excitement turn into hard yards? Was it after 10 days for you, Matt? When did that excitement turn into, all right, we're just doing this now?
Oh, no, probably from the 10th to about the 22nd was good. I actually enjoyed that part through there.
Yeah.
And then the pressure of moving sort of kicked in. I was like, oh, this is getting a bit niggly now. But just kept turning up. And then I guess if Craig looks back too, he might realise, oh, yeah, Matt was quite busy on the 30th and 31st. It was just had to do the 15-minute rule those days, where I might have only done 300 metres over both of those days. But I don't know, we ticked over something anyway. But yeah, it was definitely about the 25th, the last 5 days, just with the pressure of moving farms and things starting to kick in.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And what about you, Craig? When did it turn into hard yards? When did it that relentlessness of 31 days carry on? Like, when did that become hard?
I think once I reached 31,000, I think that in my head it then became harder, because I'd reached my average of 1,000 a day, and there was the moral dilemma: do I keep going, or do I say I've done it?
Yeah.
And so, I definitely slowed down in the last few days, apart from one big ride. Yeah.
Yeah. And what about you, Shiraz? How did it go for you? When did the hey, I'm going well in this leaderboard thing? Did it ever sort of go backwards, or were you motivated knowing that you weren't going to get a whole month and knowing that you had your surgery lined up?
Oh yeah, it got a bit tiring probably after that big day. My butt was a bit sore from being on the bike for so long. So it was hard, but I had kind of the same mentality as Craig, is just do something every day. So yeah, but I was kind of motivated to make the most of every single day I had.
Nice. I need to have a couple of shout outs. Just looking at my list here, there's a few other stories that have gone on that I hear. One such story, Lauren Fernley, 31st of May, just picture this, 31st of May, I'll just get on the bike at 8 o'clock. I'll do a few more vertical meters, looking at the leaderboard going, okay, if I just do another 1,000 or so, I'll be jumping up another 10 spots. So 8 o'clock, and then her husband Mitch is watching a movie. So okay, well, he doesn't really, not worried. So 9 o'clock, I'm going to do a few more vertical meters, and then jumps back on again at 10 o'clock, logging some more vertical meters on the 31st of May. The movie's still going. Oh, well, I might as well do a few more at 11 p.m. on the 31st of May, managing to leapfrog up to 23rd overall. How good is that? I did say afterwards, if she got another 1,000, she would have been up 13th or something. So getting to the top half, but that's a little bit of madness. So Lauren has to achieve the Sprint Finish Award for this year, that's for sure. So we're going deep into the month as a result of that. I also need to have a bit of a shout out to Geraldine, with Mark Talbot winning Geraldine. There's been a bit of maybe I've created it myself, but well done to Mark for being the king of Geraldine, beating Todd Portman, but actually South Canterbury, if you're talking South Canterbury, well then Brian Prestige would have taken you both down as he prepared to head over to France as well. Pretty cool. Lots of different stories, and actually lots of different stories about people such as Sarah Vermeulen getting out and about, like you guys have done as well, and sort of incorporated the families and getting them involved as well, which is pretty cool. The other one, in terms of special awards, the Australian title, Ben Jordan versus Andrew Wesley. So we put this up in a post about the fact that Ben beat Wes by 59 vertical meters to win the Australian title. But actually, as I had another look on the leaderboard, they actually were second and third. And it was actually, there was another guy, Rick from Adelaide, who actually pipped them by another 100 vertical meters or so. Rick Van Welcham, who was heading over, he's flew out today actually to do the Tour Divide, which is riding your bike from Canada to Mexico over, I think he's looking to try and do it in 15 days or something like that. So was doing a bunch of training outside, riding his bike up and down hills as part of that. So yeah, pretty cool. Lots of different stuff happening. To wrap up this podcast, I'd be quite keen to just hear some learning from each of you, and and just to sort of what did you get out of it? What did you learn as a result of this? Shiraz, do we start with you?
It's just the good banter. Like I had the pleasure of riding with Craig and Ben and Baron at the back road, and so it was good to have some people to just have some good banter with and know them in real life, and it's good to connect again. And even though we're all around different places around the world, and so it's real nice to have that community and that competitive drive.
Yeah, good job. And what about you, Matt? What did you take away from this whole month?
Definitely that there's more time in the day than you think to do something like this, but probably I enjoyed there's a competitive spirit, I guess, that was put simmered away over the years, but it came back with a bonfire, big eruption really when it came to battling out with Craig and Tony through the month of May, really. So thanks to Craig for that, really. Definitely lit a fire inside me and got me going again. But I guess the hardest part that I learned to overcome was just the hardest part's getting on the bike, and then you get into the first 5 minutes, and then you're away, and then you end up doing an hour, and it's no big deal, really. So, but yeah, no, it was a good experience. I definitely didn't expect to see my name so far up the leaderboard. I think just top 10 was the original goal, just being there somewhere, not way up there with my name in lights, to be fair.
Yeah, well done you, and well done for managing to manage all that stuff that's going on. And what's your takeaway, Craig, as a result of this?
I think a month of good training and riding every day has it's definitely increased. I thought it would drain my fitness. I thought I'd be putting out less power each day by the end, by just getting more tired. But I just found that every session I was just able to put out actually more power, and actually I just got stronger I felt stronger as the month went on. So a month of good training leads to good things.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And you managed to get second, Craig. I need to ask this: when did you finally think that you had Matt, like you've broken Matt? Because it's a bit about that, isn't it? Like when you're looking at the leaderboard, just trying to.
It wasn't till the morning of the first, I think, Richard. It was still in the back of my mind that Matt might be doing an Everest on the 31st or something, and it wouldn't pop up until the morning or until 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, doing 11 o'clock Lauren sort of thing at the late. And what about you, Shiraz? Were you comfortable to go to bed on the 31st, knowing that you think you probably had it? You were still a long way in front though, weren't you? What were you overall? You were 52,000 vertical meters, and the other guys were 35 and 33,000 vertical meters. So you had a pretty good buffer, 20,000 vertical meters, and you had some days to spare in that as well.
Yeah, it was kind of I kind of had one last walk before I was unable to. So it was kind of, it will be what it will be. But I had fun seeing everyone else post their last hurrahs, and seeing Aaron's was just really cool to see. So just being a part of it was pretty cool.
Yeah, nice. I'm just going to throw this up. This is the last question to throw at you guys. Our toasted score. How toasted were you as part of this? This is some toast that I cooked actually not too long ago. 1 being completely burnt, 9 being hardly even, still almost bread. On the 1 to 9 scale, how toasted were you at the end of the month? And when you finished your riding up, what would you say, Shiraz? Where were you?
Probably a 4.
A 4, okay, right. So you're working. There's a bit going on there. A bit of fatigue that you're carrying through. What about you, Craig? Is this a second place getter?
Yeah, I was probably still a bit of 6 or 7. I was pretty keen to keep going. On the I think on the first or the second, I went and tried to get a new personal best on the Rapaki climb. Just to keep it going. Yeah.
We're just doing 1 month. We're not doing doubles. We'll just we're not saying anything about that. And what about you, Matt? What score would you say?
I was probably a 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I was definitely a 3. With the farm and the kids and everything else, yeah, it was starting to take its toll on me.
Yeah. Coming to the end of your run. Thank goodness that's done.
Yeah, I probably could have kept going if it was another 10 days, but yeah, it was. Yeah, and I was pretty spent at the end. Okay.
Yeah, nice work.
If you could give my apology to your wife as well, there, Matt.
Yeah, yeah, I can do that. But yeah, it was good. It was very enjoyable, to be fair.
Yeah. Will you be back? Will you be back, Shiraz? Will you have another crack at another sort of monthly challenge that we have?
Yeah, I've got to try and get that Everest out in the real life next year. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, nice. And what about you, Craig? Will you be back for something similar?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm keen to try and do an Everest day next year. Is probably more than the whole month of continuing. But yeah, keen to do an Everest at some point.
Nice. And what about you, Matt? Will you be back, or is this a one and done?
Oh, if Craig's going to do it again, I'll do it again.
Oh, gosh. This last year, Nathan Moreland and Craig Gordon, who were sort of going toe-to-toe, just like Matt and Craig were this year, they basically one got sick and then the other got sick the day, like I think Nathan waved the white flag 3 days before the end of the month. And this year, I think Nathan was sick at the start of the month, so that meant he couldn't do it, but he was very much like, I'll support, but I'm not going to do that silliness. And then Craig's whole thing for the month was I just need to make adult decisions here. I just need to not get drawn into this because this is madness. So I need to shout out to Craig that he finished with like 12,000 vertical meters, which is still a good effort, but nothing too silly from his perspective. So well done for Craig for being an adult about this. So it can be done. Yep. And the last shout out I need to give is Steph Levin for staying in her lane award, for having a goal, achieving that. And Jan Sippel, I think, did this as well, that actually achieved the goal and then ticked it off and goal achieved rather than getting too crazy. So you can get into it and into the competitiveness, but also you can just do your own thing and have the motivation to do that as well. But yeah, love your work, team. It's been pretty cool sort of following you and sort of hearing the stories that's going on in the background and with lots of different people going on. But yeah, really cool to have you three awesome humans as part of our community, and keep up the great work and all the best for the next month ahead.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
No, thank you, Rich. Thanks for putting it on, the inspiration. Yeah,
cool.
Good
Stuff. Well done, team. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch up soon. Over and out.
Thank you.